I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. Howdy, all. It's James, and welcome to my madness. It's a Margarita Monday. Join me as I do first pass at a presentation I've been working on for a few days, and let me know what you think in the comments, of course. All right. Occasionally, you may hear the ice in the background and the workers across the street. But this is a beta test, beta run. So, anyway, I'm James. I'm the founder of the Michigan Aboriginal Project. I've been working off the thoughts and theory that we have some hairy cousins in the woods, and they give away their hangouts by leaving structural artifacts, and I leave recorders in these areas, and my journey's been nothing short of amazing, quite honestly. And it's wrinkled my brain. Anyway, I hope you like this presentation. I'm motivated to do it because there's a lot of madness and censorship and indoctrination going on within our educational system, and it's been under my skin for some time. So anyway, this is my way of sort of exposing just one little teeny tiny tendril of that monster of a machine that is dumbing us down, and using Bigfoot, Sasquatch, my journey in particular, as sort of an underscore of the point I'm trying to make, is that we're really not that well educated. So anyway, hope you enjoy this. And the reason I'm doing this, again, the reason I chose the material for this piece is that Steve Isdall, the man behind the facts by howtohunt.com, if you're not already a subscriber, or if you have not yet heard his podcast, check it out. It's worthwhile. The man speaks truth, and he's a decent soul and a good person. So, and he's in the pursuit of the truth, much like I have been, as I have for the past 8 years independently. Gone down that rabbit hole and looked into this phenomenon of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Sabe people. What I've come to know is that they are a people, just based on my observation, my interaction, my engagement with these people at times, however ephemeral the particular encounter. There has been contact made. I've engaged in vocal discourse with them, and I've basically figured out where they hang out at night, and I leave recorders in these places. So, all of which I'm going to share with you is of interest, given the sentiments of what shall I say, of those who are frustrated by the constant stream of manipulation, media manipulation, and lies by what should otherwise have been and have historically been trustworthy sources, and like mainstream media, mainstream education. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So thank you, Steve Isdall at thefactsbyhowtohunt.com. He'll never ask you to subscribe, but I'm asking you to if you don't know about him. So moving on. Oh, no, not moving on quite yet. The reason why I'm doing this and using this as a segue is that it is on thefactsbyhowtohunt.com. An episode recently, in past couple weeks, someone had written in and said that there was this NASA study about genius. They wanted to attract more geniuses to the NASA space program. Excuse me. And, pardon me, Margarita Monday. So anyway, they did this study, and this Professor George Land, I think, Dr. George Land, engaged a study, and its results were rather telling. And we'll just move on with that. I got curious. I looked on my local browser, DuckDuckGo, and looked up this study, and a number of things came up, and I have a few examples of that. But just taking a look at these bottom-up NASA tests that reveals your creative potential. You are 96% less creative than you were as a child. We are born creative geniuses, and the education system dumbs us down. And the first one that came up is NASA's study on children, how traditional schooling reduces creativity and creative genius. So this is just one of those that were cited. We are born creative geniuses, and the education system dumbs us down. It's something I've long suspected and have for literally decades discussed, as my late stepfather was a wonderful professor, lawyer, dean, and boy, there's a lot of dumbing down going on back then, even at the collegiate level. But moving on, NASA's study on children, how traditional schooling reduces creative spark. It's quite a shame. This is 2023. The erosion of creativity and its impact on flow states, or your intellectual fluidity, your fluidity of thought, if you will. Insights from NASA's study. They get into a little more detail here, and I'll move on shortly. The study revealed that while 98% of children aged 3 to 5 exhibited creative genius, this figure plummeted to 30% by age 10. 12% by age 15, and a mere 2% in adults. This decline is deeply intertwined with our educational system and societal structures. Mind you, this is a NASA study. And these things, these societal structures and educational systems under which we've endured for decades, they stifle our creativity and imposed fixed belief systems. And two of those things, or both of those things, are bad. So this concludes NASA creativity study underscores the significant decline in creativity from childhood to adulthood, a trend largely influenced by our education system and societal norms. Read on if you want, freeze the screen, but pay particular attention to embracing the traits of the maverick. This is a paragraph that is the antidote to the dumbing down that our educational system has rendered us all, and I'm in that pool as well. Trust me. But I also do have some traits of the maverick, and I have embraced them, and I've embraced them in my pursuit of this question and this phenomenon of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Sabe. What are they? And it's been a hell of a journey for 8 years now, and 5 years, recording audio. So, and I'll share some of that with you at the end of this presentation. But before that, we're going to talk about a vehicle of mass mental mutilation, a little product by a company that's one of the largest publishing companies in the world. And it's a $1.64 billion company, as I think the 2023 revenues were. And well, I think they're just part of the problem, and you'll see why. So, moving on with my presentation, Academic Agendas and the Trampling of Truth. Big truth is out there, and why don't we know about it? And you can even consider this a public service announcement from the Michigan Aboriginal Project. My name is James Lady, and I unwittingly and very organically ended up at this place at this particular time to tell you about things that I never really thought I'd be talking about. But my journey's been incredible, and I'm here to share it with you. And I'm going to point something out to you. Oh my gosh, I wish my neighbors would. But anyway, Here, let's move on to things that are absolutely based in reality. This is that little vehicle of mass mental mutilation and misinformation and malformation. It's something, Scholastic was a great thing when I was a kid, quite honestly. I used to look forward to the book fairs, and I loved this piece because it was easy to read. It was not too challenging, so I didn't spend too much time with them. But look at this issue back in 2021. Down in the left-hand corner, something caught my eye, and of course you know why. And this is Scholastic. There, looks awesome, wonderful, promising young lady, smart, embracing, the future through this education, or shall I say, this indoctrination that we're about to witness here. They claim that literacy is a journey, and it sure is, but, it's not Scholastic's responsibility to be the sole purveyor of propaganda with the subject that is near and dear to me. So they say literacy is a journey. That may as well also say that illiteracy is a journey. And I hate to say it, but in my opinion, Scholastic's been a little guilty along that vein. And, they're with us every step of the way. Personally, that terrifies me. It's like hearing from the government. We're from the government, and we're here to help you. So, according to publishingstate.com, I mentioned earlier, Scholastic is one of the top 10 publishers in the world, $1.64 billion. Good job, guys. And here's their product, which I used to adore as a kid. And my opinion has actually changed, and I'll show you why. They also have another venue and I haven't seen the video. However, it's just another way, another vein of indoctrination brought to you by the folks at Scholastic. Here we go. This is the opening sleeve, and it gets a prominent spot. I just have to turn one page here, and I'll share it with you. Oh, goodness. Pardon me. Okay. So, the search for Bigfoot. In the nonfiction section, that's pretty awesome. I'm in, all in. And I feel my youthful enthusiasm for these story works as I looked forward to them every month as a boy. And look at this. This is inviting. Nice graphics. I'm an artist. This is soothing to my eye. What's this, though? Nonfiction. Text evidence. Now we're going to get a little bit factual. I think that's awesome that Scholastic would take on this task to perhaps educate our young minds full of mush with truth rather than a lie, basically. But as you read, this sounds more like an assignment than anything else. As you read, look for reasons people have believed in Bigfoot and evidence showing that this creature doesn't exist. All right, to me, I try to be objective in my thoughts and my perspective on things. This is very leading. It sounds more like an assignment. And here's something else. Look for word nerd 5, terms in bold, same color as the text evidence directives. There we go, 5 terms in bold. We'll certainly look out for them. 5 terms in bold, sounds cool. And here we go. The story starts out and is very intriguing. A chilly February night in 1962, blah, 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 talking about an encounter. Or is it just a legend? Here's the first full spread. Talks about ancient stories. Bigfoot is born. Apparently, if you look close enough, you see it was born in 1958. Enormous footprints, 16-inch tracks, looking for proof. All this is awesome and pretty, well balanced as it would seem anyway on the surface. However, let's have a look for those 5 terms in bold. First one I find is legends. The different legends were passed down through families within communities. They reached outsiders who turned them into stories of their own. Where's the basis, in fact, for that? I wonder. It's just my critical thinking skills going off on a tangent here. But anyway, legends. What else do we find here? Tall tales. The Bigfoot story. Oh, it's likely first to have been told by working lumberjacks to younger men just to scare them. This is frustrating already. Tall tales, that's in bold. The first one, legends. Tall tales. The third being rumors. Interesting. Someone was playing a prank. The men agreed. Any minute the jokester would step forward for a big laugh. More footprints soon appeared and rumors swirled. So rumors, tall tales, legends. Interesting. What's next? Okay, hoax. Interesting. Who's making the huge 16-inch tracks in Bluff Creek? Genzoli would later say he wasn't sure there was really a giant in the woods. Of course. So hoax. What's the last one? Evidence. Of course, evidence is in quotation marks, and it looks like the quotation marks are also emboldened. And they're talking about the PG film. Is it just a person in a gorilla costume? And this is the most audacious statement. Most scientists and animal experts reject the film as a hoax. Seriously? Other evidence doesn't impress them either. Not the footprints, the fur, the scat. The people have seen. Okay, interesting. So, interesting that all these terms in bold, legends, tall tales, rumors, hoax, and evidence, seems kind of leading to me. Seems very leading to me. If I were to read these, and I'm a word nerd, I'm scoring high on learning these bold terms, and I'm already falling into their indoctrination trap to convince you that, or those little minds full of mush, convince and form their opinions to the side of an unreality. The author concludes it's unlikely that Bigfoot is real. Shocking. And if somebody does prove that this gentle giant is out there, maybe it would be best if we humans left them alone. Him alone, she writes. I say them. And I would have to agree with that. I think that's pretty cool. But little salt into the wound already for those who know better than the author and her conclusions. This is really another assignment. Now that we've completed the first assignment as directed by the evidence in bold, imagine you have a younger friend who asks you if Bigfoot is real. Write him a note telling him or her where stories of Bigfoot came from and why it's very unlikely he exists. Why not write about the opposite? So anyway, I'm sure those 5 winners who I'm sure will have used all 5 words or terms in bold. I'm sure there are 5 happy young children, well indoctrinated and believe in a lie, because if you're on my channel anyway, you believe that this phenomenon does exist. And I'm going to present some evidence of my own at the end of this presentation. Pardon me for a little sip of margarita. Okay. Legends, tall tales, rumors, hoax, and evidence, all in bold. All in bold shit, if you ask me. It's very leading. This article was loaded with influence to not really encourage thought or wonder about anything. And you know why. Seriously? Seriously. So Steve Isdall, as you know, it was through his channel that I learned about, through one of his contributors, one of his members, about this study, and I conclude this part of this.
Maybe that's the modern world and the education system screwing all the next younger generations, right? So that they get conditioned to laugh at the real shit that's going on.
Yeah, conditioned to laugh at the real shit that's going on. And it's true. So now I've got an axe to grind. I wanted to learn a little bit more about Scholastic and I find this Scholastic Credo and editorial platform. Scholastic's books and educational materials inspire students to cultivate their minds to utmost capacity. I have to say that's an utter fail. With this particular example on the Bigfoot situation, it is an utter fail. Become familiar with our cultural heritage. I have to say that's another failure as well, because the earliest mention of these beings are in the Bible. Leif Erikson has written about them, and several other historical figures like Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett. And of course our Native Americans. Everybody has although to their credit, to Scholastic's credit, they did mention some Native American tribes and their names for them. But anyway, another utter fail. Let's see. Strive for excellence in creative expression in all fields of learning, literature, and art. And if we learned anything earlier by the NASA study, I think they're part of the problem, at least with this one example. Okay, they will also wish to enlarge students' concern for an understanding of today's world. Enlarge students' concern. Sounds like indoctrination to me. An understanding of today's world. Through what lens? And what role is it of yours to have this influence over our young minds of mush? Okay, helps build a society free of prejudice, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's not your job, Scholastic, sorry. And again, through what lens? Through what worldview? I say leave it to the communities, the family, ultimately, and let's hope those families go to church, because there's what you're trying to do here is what used to be the work of the church. So stop it. Just get out of that and stick to your knitting, and stick to facts as well, especially on this Bigfoot thing. You really ought to retract this article and apologize to all the students out there who think otherwise. As a matter of fact, I'm reminded of a kid. I already knew about this article, and we were decorating the Christmas tree at church a couple of years ago. And I asked him where he stood on Bigfoot. He said, no, don't believe it. And I said, I don't know what I said. We had a conversation basically, and he brought up the fact that he loves Scholastic, and he'll read anything, and I read. He'll believe anything that Scholastic ever writes. But he brought up independently of Scholastic, and I didn't even mention this Scholastic article, but I'm certain he had probably read it, because probably a year or two before that that the actual article came out. But he loves Scholastic, and there he goes. He discounts any possibility of the reality of the Sasquatch phenomenon. And we believe in, and I can critically nip a few of these apart. Good stuff there. The worth and dignity of each individual, that's awesome. Representative government, even-handed justice, maintains equality of rights, that's awesome. Don't have any problem with any of that. But for the rest of it, the most prominent of those that comes to my mind is the last. The fair discussion of all sides of the issues of our times, with deep respect for facts and logical thinking. In our books, classrooms, magazines, and educational materials used in schools and homes. The fair discussion of all sides of an issue is questionable in this example of the Sasquatch Bigfoot article. But with deep respect for facts and logical thinking, I'm sorry, utter failure. Utter failure. The kid at church, Ryan, he's just an example. He doesn't know truth, and truth that led me to the woods. And this little product of theirs, I consider it a weapon of mass mental malformation, and I don't know. I think these are creating, as we age, more minds full of mush, because we're denied certain truths. In this particular example of the Bigfoot, and this is just my opinion, but I've been sitting on this for a few years now, and I just still find it utterly disgusting that this kind of stuff is going on in the midst of other forms of censorship and lies, which we all have experienced and endured and suffered from, all of us. So shame on those who claim to know better. God bless you and all those who do know better and trust the truth of the Bible and the very existence of Sasquatch and Bigfoot or the Sabe people verify the narratives of the Old Testament. And I'm formerly atheist. I've opened my mind and learned that I was a fool, basically. So anyway, what do we have next? Oh yeah, this pretty little article. I would have eaten it up as a kid, but I'm maverick enough to have kept it from me believing in the possibilities, quite honestly. In these directives in nonfiction, the search for Bigfoot, come on, what a joke. I've searched because I don't buy the mainstream media narrative, or I don't go with the herd, basically. So I went. In 2016, when I thought the world had gone mad, I went to the woods, and in 7 nights, 2 different trips, over the course of 6 weeks, I had my own search and the fruits of my search, which are in this video. This is October 30th, 2016. It was this, like I said, the 7th, 9th, and the 6th week I was into the field after having gone down the rabbit hole for the prior month, or the prior 6 months, truth be told. Anyway, if I had grown up ignorant of the fact and devoid of any sense of adventure or what have you, I'd be a very poor soul, I would. Because I grew up on Tarzan, Batman, Planet of the Apes, X-Files, Fox Mulder, Clint Eastwood, all that. And I feel that this field of intellectual endeavor, if you will, and discovery and adventure, I feel like I was kind of bred for it, quite honestly. And I'm living a life that I really never thought possible, and I only have God to thank for it. So here's a little video that I captured. And let me tell you what happened right before this. I was going to bed. It's about 9:45, and I was brushing my teeth, and I went to the side of the camp to spit my toothpaste. And I have my red headlamp on, and I look up, and I see these 2 lights, these 2 eyes, huge eyes, and wide set. It's amazing. I locked eyes, and I'm trying to assess the situation. After not long, actually, about 30 seconds, I was convinced that I was having a stare down with a Sasquatch. It was nothing but eye shine, and it had to have been, I don't know, maybe 60 feet away. And they were huge, and they were this, it was the green, yellow, white, like a very pale green. They were just bright. It was beautiful, actually. And it never moved. They never moved for the longest time. And I had locked eyes and thinking that, if I had broke contact, I may never ever see it again. So I just stared it down. Eventually it closed its right eye. And, it was not like a head turn. It didn't disappear. The other eye didn't move. It just, its right eye, the one on the left, just disappeared. Just like totally, as if, and I later thought about that. I think he was becoming somewhat oversensitized to my red headlamp. Anyway, and I hung on for a couple more minutes. I know that the time that I got video after those moments was less than the time that I experienced in this impasse, this stare down with this being. And it was huge. I mean, eyes really wide set and huge, like the bottom of a pop can, that sort of diameter. massive, pretty cool. And it was a pleasant. I never felt fear. It was just some moments of amazement, and I'll never forget that. So anyway, I broke that impasse after it had closed its right eye, and I turned away, which was a ballsy move because I never turned away, knowing a Sasquatch was going to be behind me. But I went and I casually, very nonchalantly grabbed my flashlight and my video camera, and I got this footage. So the raw footage is what you're going to see first, and the subject is going to be in the background, between what looks like a crook of two trees. And then I'll zoom in and scrub back and forth, and you can see the natural movement of the subject is from its right to it pivots, and you're looking at the back side of it. It pivots from its right to the left, and as it pivots from the backside, it reveals its auricular recess, and you can detect the ocular recess. You can detect a shadow on its buttocks as its left arm catches the light. Now this footage is poor quality, of course, and of course what you're going to see in the enlarged version is blurry, which that's how you know it's true. So you'll have to keep that in mind. The subject's in the background. Pardon me, I'm a little ADD and I probably just screwed up a little bit, but have a look at this, and when I zoom in and pan back and forth, the natural movement is from the right to the left, and it reveals the upright torso of a monochromatic, upright being. Here you go. And that little cooing that you just heard right there, that's another vocal. Here's the subject in the background again. That night was magical. Never felt threatened. Went to bed with a smile on my face. I never saw it that night, and I only discovered it 4 months later. After when I finally reviewed the video. I never reviewed it because I never saw it that night. I never thought I'd see anything, quite honestly. All right, and again, if I had fallen into the trap of reduced creativity through the public school system and such, and never have gone out to the woods, I would never have gotten the next clip, which is captured along the Huron River. It was captured on my birthday in 2022, and I presume it's a female subject. And there's some melodic clicking and clucking that happens right after the conventional speech, which begins about 2/3 of the way through it. So check this out. Juvenile about to speak. Here's the conventional speech. And of course, the melodic clicking and clucking afterward. Just amazing. Just amazing. Let's play it again. Can I? Oh, maybe not. Let's do this. Awesome. And this was captured in 2022. This is just a few seconds of a group of our hairy cousins, who could be something else, or other things. They are having a civil discourse. There is like a meeting going on. You will hear subjects near the recorder and dispersed throughout the valley, communicating, all in concert, all respectful of one another. It is certainly civil discourse. Enjoy this. Jigga wigga ma. So cool. Love it. So from that same teepee in the woods that I recorded those 3 years prior, this is in 2019, I recorded this. And when I played the initial clip, it's going to skip the very beginning. It's like a kapika swa, but I'll play it over for you. Love that. All right. Ooh. Oh. Shoot. Oh, well, you can hear this in Voices from the Depths of the Woods. Check it out. It's a very significant piece of audio. It's those nearly 4 minutes that I had captured before. Okay, here we go. From that same clip, this is more another example of conventional speech with the melodic clicking and clucking. And the clicking and clucking precedes one conventional speech, and then there begins conventional speech. And the clicking and clucking is also integrated into that response to the prior. So check this out. Love that. All right. So anyway, big truth is out there. Fox Mulder was right. I'm here to tell you. And the big question is, did you know about it? Most people don't. It's a damn shame. And so what's the problem? Is it our educational system? Is it an academic agenda? Is it? I don't know. We see the results of decades of perpetuated practices in the education, if you will. Do I put those education in quotes, or do I put indoctrination in quotes? The indoctrination seems to be a little more literal expression. The dumbing down certainly is, and it's a damn shame. Damn shame. Big truth is out there. Peace be with you. Truly, folks. Peace be with you. Hey, I'm formerly atheist. I've seen far too much in life to believe otherwise anymore. So anyway, if you're open to it, these giants in the woods, at the very least, their very existence confirms the narratives of the Old Testament. And I pray perhaps that our society will become far less secular moving forward, because I feel that we are devolving, and some credit goes to those influences within our educational system that contribute to this devolution of intellectual thought, of creative motivation, curiosity, whatever you want to call it. The spiritual realm is real. The mysteries of the woods are real, and I'm certain the mysteries of the oceans are real as well. I just can't camp down there. So thanks for hanging in there with me. God bless you all. Peace be with you. Altika Pika Hut.